Hi Geminis, mwah. Welcome to your weekly reading. This is for the week of March 11th to March 17th. Okay, Geminis, I just want to start off by saying, I keep it real in all my readings. I try to do that. I felt like I had to move this candle closer. As I was shuffling the cards, I heard the angels say that, well, through me. I mean, I felt myself saying it, but it was them. I felt moved to say a prayer for you because they're saying that if you resonate with this reading, Gemini, if this reading resonates for you, then that means that you most likely are finding yourself in a low place or in a behavioral pattern. But picking up on your energy, as the angels were saying, your vibration is way too low. And so I felt moved to say a prayer for all of my viewers for whom this relates, for you to be, for, what can I say? For your energy, for your vibration, for me to bring you up and into the light, so to speak. I also see prayers here in this card. So so anyway, again, this is not going to be for all Geminis. So if it's not for you, it's not a moment to be like, unlike, it means it's not for you and there's another video for you. Everybody gets a chance, right? So in this video, this is for a specific set of Geminis who are at a place right now. Again, I knew this card would come in here, staring me in the face. You're in two worlds, basically. And it even is followed up by this card, Paths Unknown. So you're out here. Anyway, let's jump in. I just want to say that this is for some of the Geminis that I have been reading for in the past, or had been reading for in the past, who made a separation, they left, they started something new. Okay? So, all right, my little gems, let's jump right in. So where you are in this life, Gemini, excuse me, not this life, maybe this is for your whole life and you feel this, but I meant for this week, geez. But these days in your life, you're in a long cycle, if I may say. Usually Gemini, you've got two people in one. We all know that, gems, we all know that. But here I'm seeing about 3, and another card I see an additional 1, 4. What does that mean? It means you have a few competing interests. Let me just take a quick sip. Bing. Be right back. All right, so here's what I'm seeing. So this is you, on some level, making your way out on your journey, and you're looking for new things. You're like, land ho, you're allowing yourself to be moved, to be inspired, whatnot. That's always good. This is also you right here, this gentleman on the right, here in the middle. He's the planning part of you. He's the one who's planning. He's the aspect of you that's planning. So even if you're like touring different countries or whatever, you're doing your thing, this person is actively, this person is you, but this part of you is like the one thinking about where am I going to stay, what money am I going to have. Then there's this other part of you, which is kind of like just, I guess, looking out. He seems kind of just like no real direction, no nothing, right? So I'm picking up that right now, I feel this is ongoing for you. I don't feel like it's going to necessarily start in March. However, if it does for you, then it does. But I feel like this is just the energies that are going to be going on during the month of, during the week, this week. What am I, sorry, too much caffeine. This right here, this card also shows me that's you sitting atop this three-legged chair. And that shows me that these are the 3 parts of you that I was just talking about. And this is you at the top. These are the 3 parts of you upon which you stand. But at the same time, this part right here is kind of like your 4th part. You're just kind of like, you're just kind of there. Anyway, I forgot what I wanted to say about that. But you might find yourself in a new place, whether it's geographically or situation-wise, but that's what I'm seeing for you right now. And I think, see this guide on your left, this gentleman on the left, that's your spirit guide. He or she, they've been trying to reach you. They're showing they've been trying to reach you, but you've been closed off. It's almost like that's you in there, that one. You've been alone, you've been closed off, and you haven't been listening, or you haven't been able to listen. For some of you, I'm picking up, this is drug related. I have to be honest, I'm seeing drugs throughout this reading. For another one, in which case you're unable to hear them. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I'm picking up that for some of you, you may be kept away. You may be kept away, like somebody's keeping you away from They're either distracted or just keeping you away from being in a space where you can be of your highest self. So that's what I'm picking up there. Now, take a look here. I feel that at this time, even though you've started your life and your new life, and you're going about your business. Oops, sorry, that's a chip. Don't look at that chip. I don't know when I'm gonna get a chance to eat it, to be honest. Look, because look at this. This is a part of you, I think, that wants to have peace, and maybe that you've started off a new life. You're trying to get that peace, but this here. This shows me, this candle shows me that there's still machinations, as the word that I heard. There's still falsity, and I think that it's like this fake identity, this fake life that you're constructing around yourself. So it's these two parts of you. Like on one part, you want peace. That's what you say. But at the same time, there's this sense of you still continuing on with certain behavioral patterns that are not in integrity. It's almost like with the intention to delude people, and I can't even talk right now. Anyway, now the reason why, if this reading resonates for you and you're wondering, that does sound a little like me or cross watchers, gotta be honest, I know I just have this feeling that a lot of Gemini, there are a lot of cross watchers for my Gemini videos, but the reason why Gemini, you may be feeling this way is because look at this wide world out there. There's so much experience to be had. And this person's feeling makes me feel like there's so many people to be had, and not in a sexual way per se, but like to rip them off. You know, there's so many people who are going to be had by me. I can have them, like I can con them. They're so easy. And Geminis are super unusually smart and crisp, and they have a high acumen, and a lot of times they're thinking two to 6 steps. I'm hearing 2 to 6 steps in front of everybody else in terms of not necessarily substantive knowledge, but just the way human beings move and operate. They're like a human. They can be like a human manifestation of sleight of hand. That's the best way I can say, right? Or a human incarnation of sleight of hand, right? But what I'm seeing here is that once again, the angels, your guides, are trying to reach you. As I'm seeing, angels and guides, they're literally, take a look, you were one, oops, I'm sorry, right here. You were number 1 in this card where they've been trying to reach you for a while. And now, look, they've pushed themselves into this 14. They are pushing themselves into your auric field right now. So they're the 4 angels, right? And so they are, clearly I'm here talking to you with this reading. So this tells me that I do have some Geminis that this is resonating with, probably more so than the cross watchers, because this tells me that there are some Geminis watching right now for whom this pattern resonates, and the angels through this video are pushing themselves into your energetic field and your consciousness. But what I'm seeing here is this is you. I'm seeing it, the way this looks is like this person wants to walk off. They're not listening. They don't want to listen. They know they should listen. They know that the angels are talking to them. They feel it. You know, Geminis they're not dumb. They know. But it's almost like this resolution, this desire, like I want to go out, I want to play, I want to be bad, I want to do my thing, leave me alone. And I see them like throwing, like it's almost like if all of these people are holding flowers, like this one's like, you know, screw this, boom, they throw it on the stage and they're like, I'm out. And they like walk off stage, not off stage because that teacher's off stage, but walk off, what looks to us like a stage. They walk off the screen, right? So, this card, this last significator card for this week that I'm seeing is angels are once again, they're like, we're trying to get your attention. And the reason why is because you're setting in motion things that are to come, they're saying. So that means that, the angels are saying that's it. That means that if you are focusing too much on doing these things, what about those contracts that you have with other people that you should be doing? Because I feel, again, that where you're acting out of right now, if this reading is for you, is not a place of divine pushing. They didn't divinely push you into those to learn. No, this is you acting out of a pathology, and it's time to stop, right? Again, I'm seeing drugs again. So I'm seeing that they're trying to say that there are contracts to be had. You can, for some of you, there's a deep love. There's a deep love waiting to come in. I'm seeing this. Not only a deep love, a healing love, a protective love. And it's a kind of love, Gemini, that you, like, not all women, I think, I'm saying women because I'm thinking about Gemini men, but not all Geminis can be with anybody, but not just anybody can capture a Gemini's heart. And when I say it that way, I feel that when a person captures a Gemini's heart, they don't just capture their mind, because you have to capture a Gemini's intellect in order to have them consider staying around. That's it. Case in point. But to really have a Gemini commit, you gotta capture their heart as well. So, and it almost seems like it's gonna be like this innocent partner, whereas there's this partner that they kind of want to protect a little bit, protect from people like them, and they genuinely love and care, and they're gentle with that person. And that's what I feel like this is the ideal partner for you. The angels are coming in, and I know as I'm saying this, I want to point at the screen. I'm talking to you, okay? Because there's somebody out there, at least one of you, who's like, oh, I know, and you know what? I feel like you know exactly who this person is. This person's face is in your mind, and I know that you may feel at odds because you want to hold them, you want to be gentle, you want to protect them, and these are not feelings Geminis usually have about people. Geminis usually want to, quote unquote, experience another person, but what that is just them trying to experience themselves through another person, because Geminis are like famously connected to having like an external locus of insert whatever word, locus of control, locus of love, locus of protect, whatever it is. They look outside of themselves to be entertained, to experience, and of course they have to learn to look within themselves, and when they look within themselves, they'll find that they are whole, number one, and that they're resolved within themselves, and they just seem like really outward acting people. But this person, I feel, is a divine compliment to you, and if you're one of the people that I'm talking to, then you would know, and you'll know the triggers for this is that you'll want to protect them. I'm seeing for some of you, particularly around money, it's almost like these people are so innocent, they come across as really angelic. They're so innocent that maybe they can get conned by you, or conned by people like you, or conned by people worse than you, or let me just take a drink here. Okay. Yes. Thank you for waiting. So I'm seeing that, and I feel that for some of you, you may be in this person's life right now in a certain capacity where you're trying to shed light on them. You may feel like you want to rescue them a little bit. Like, listen, baby, the world ain't made for little people like you. You got to be careful. Like this, kind of, And I think that underneath all that bravado that you're like using, there's really just a genuine sense of care. And I just see it's almost like these two roses are hugging. Like you're the white rose and he is the red rose, and you're just hugging that other person, just snuggling and nuzzling and folding them in this green, healing, loving branch. That will slap anybody that tries to come by and mess with this person. The thing about you, Geminis, is that you're so worldly in so many ways that it's almost like you want to protect the people that you love the most. You want to protect them from the negative aspects of the world. If there were any parent who didn't want their child to experience the dark side of life, it would be, I feel, like a Gemini parent, okay? I just feel that. For some of you, this may be a child, but for some of you, this could be a romantic connection with someone someone who you really feel protective of, okay? Now, for others of you, I feel that there's a group or organization that the spirit is trying to direct you to. It could be for healing purposes. I also feel this could be that there's a marriage partner, maybe a marriage that it has got holes in it right now that they want you to revive or fix. There's also maybe one or two of you who are going to play an advisory role. They want you to play an advisory role in something. They're just a few things, and then there are just some things in general that they want you to have experiences with. All of these things are contract laden, right? So if you focus not on these things and you focus on living this life instead that is out of integrity, Spirit is saying, look at what you're jeopardizing. Now, I'm seeing in this pen that there's some people who like don't want to, they want to like take the contract, roll it up and put it away, and they're choosing the pen. The pen to me looks like a drug needle. So for some of you, if you're not like doing too much with drugs right now, it seems like it's going to escalate. This could be a warning ahead of time for some of you. But also I see that for some of you, yeah, I'm seeing along all ends of the spectrum. They're just saying drugs are bad. I don't want to say drugs are bad. It sounds like some 1980s, like, drugs are bad, milk is good. But I don't want you to think of it that way. Drugs are bad. That's what they're saying. Case in point, period. Now, if you want to sit here and argue about it, that's all well and good. But the people who, the angels are definitely see my tone of voice is even like harder and sharper and like, ugh. The people who this message is for, they're being very succinct. They're very straightforward. They're just letting you know, cut it off and cut it out, okay? Because it's bad, and they're using the words bad for a specific reason, okay? All right, so anyway, I'm going to put this over here. Wow, sometimes spirit lectures, man, they get in, they get in, you know? Let's continue on. So let's look at this second part. They asked me to draw 18 cards for you because you're amazing, and I'm going to do that. I already did. So what I'm seeing again is that if this reading resonates for you, or if you're a cross watcher and this resonates for somebody, then Gemini, you are already on your journey. I think that you made a decision. You are following an impulse within you to leave whatever situation you were in, a connection, a relationship, a family unit, some kind of organization, to leave. And in so doing, it didn't end well. You didn't end well. Like you couldn't leave without there being fires, right? And you may have left a few bridges burnt, or fires burning as you left, but I feel that you did your best to shield yourself from that, and I'm feeling that for some of you, you did your best to shield yourself from any guilt or any emotional stuff that could have been placed on you because of the emotional pain and grief the other person was feeling. Now, what does that look like? That looks like, for example, the other person, you broke up with the other person, and they're like, don't you love me? How could you do this to me? Like, I thought I meant something to you. You just used my body. You just took my money. You just, whatever that is, and their emotional stuff that they wanted so desperately for you to feel. They wanted you to feel their pain so that you can understand the pain that you have brought to them. Like, whatever that is, it's like you opened your umbrella on and you were like, shh, and it just like went on the side, and you kind of put this new start, and you went out for a new start, and it's almost like you trimmed the fat, so to speak. So you may also be coming from a coming into this new situation with a minimalist kind of mindset. You may have downsized with friends. I'm seeing some of you may have left small towns, like moving to new communities. You used to live in a small town, and I'm hearing there's nothing but trash there. That's what I'm hearing, trash referring to the people. Let me take a sip really quickly, excuse me. But for whatever reason, you find yourself here in this place. You're looking a little different. You're trying on a new persona, or some of you are trying to try a new persona. As I'm saying, there's nothing but trash there and moving on, that kind of thing. Some of you guys are moving on because where you're moving from isn't supporting your lifestyle, isn't enabling, isn't allowing you to continue on your track. Sorry, the spirit's moving my hands, so that's why it looks weird. And what track was that? And just as I said that, look at the trains. What track is that? Drugs, okay? Again, I'm feeling a lot of drugs here for some of you viewers, okay? Not all, but, everybody has their own thing. That's the realm of a personal reading, but they're looking at the dynamics. But I'm going to mention the drug situation because I feel that I need to. I'm seeing for some of you, it is like cocaine, the powdery stuff, let's put it that way. Heroin, things like that. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing being out of your mind a little bit, and just kind of washing ashore wherever you are. This is what I'm seeing. It's like wherever I show up, as long as it's not there where I just left, then I'm good, right? So that's, and I'm feeling like someone's grandmother, like, you saying like, and that's your new beginning to just get out of here and go anywhere. Like, I feel that you're leaving some really angry people, but I definitely feel someone's grandmother either passed or here on this plane still. I feel like they're still alive. They're like, okay, that's where you want to, that's how you want to do it. And they're just like, I can't explain it, but yeah. And I feel that this person, the grandmother, and maybe she's coming forward because she epitomizes a lot of the people that are being left behind. There's almost a sense that you Gemini are so immature. Like, I'm hearing like life-wise immature. So for some of you it might be because you're young, but also for some of you they're so mad. They're like, it's not because you're young, it's because you're getting involved in immature things that only hoodlums do from different parts of the country. I cleaned up that last part because it just seemed a little racist, so I'm gonna let it go. But this is the energy and I'm feeling, and they're like this and like that, and you want to go out there and be trash, and I'm gonna cut off some of those words that, you know, if you, this sounds like your grandmother, you know who it is, okay? Then you go out and do that, but you're no son of mine, I'm hearing, you're no grandkid of mine, you go. And that's how some of you are leaving the people behind you, okay? So that would explain this, this scratch in this bag, all right? And also right at the end there's a serpent wrapped around the staff here, and that tells me that there's no love lost. I mean, the person Gemini who you Gemini who this resonates with, you're leaving, but it's almost like you don't care. Like you could just turn around and be like, oh really, well F you, all loud, okay? Now that's some of you, doesn't have to be all of you, okay? So that's just a dynamic that I'm hearing and I'm feeling. All right, now getting myself back here. Now I feel that even though you've gone, you've started new, you've done your thing, you're taking this habit with you, I feel that you're still feeling stuck, you're still feeling bored. I think that you do come across as feeling a little young in experience, and when I say young in experience, I mean young like soul, not, I don't want to say soul wise, because we don't, if everybody was made at the same time as other people, we don't know, right? But just the energy resonate as in a way that we would refer to as a young soul, where it's like you haven't learned the lesson that you can change location, but that you can't change who you are. Like wherever you go, you carry this baggage with you. I feel like you haven't learned that quite as yet. I think part of that has to do with drugs, that it's interrupting your maturation. And it doesn't matter how old you are when you watch this. I'm feeling like 46 for some of you, could be young for some of you. Doesn't matter how old you are. Whenever you start introducing certain elements that are unsafe for you, the angels are saying, especially toxic, they're saying what happens is that you stunt your growth, not only biologically, like chemically, neurochemically, all that stuff, physically, but also emotionally. The emotions are very important. You stop maturing on an emotional level, and then your life just stops. So I feel like right now it's like your life is being driven to follow this impulse, this compulsion. They're trying to intervene in your life right now to let you know that, and you might find yourself feeling really bored, feeling really listless. It's almost like you're trying to make ends meet by some way, doing some things that the rest of us would be like, why? Like for example, going around the old pawn shops or junkyards and looking for VCRs to try to sell VCRs to make money to get, like, why, right? That's the feeling that's coming across here. But the angels are saying all is not lost. They never are all, like, all is never always lost. Although I will say this, sometimes we do reach a time in our lives where you're just not going to be able to resolve certain things before you pass in this lifetime. I don't feel that that's where you are at this time, but see this rose right here? That's spirit. They're like, hey man, you're not paying attention. We're trying to get in contact with you. You know it. Again, here's you again. Look at that, let me sharpen this for you guys so you can see it. Look at that shooting star, that comet. You're not looking, it's behind you. You're not paying attention, and you're pointing to the ground. You're saying you want to go underneath. You want to go down. You want to experience life in the fast lane, life in the underlane, or whatever you want to call it, right? So I'm seeing you here, trapped to this, I want to say identity, trapped to this identity. For some of you, it's an identity that you've created that you may or may not even really enjoy or resonate with, but you're trapped to it. You're wearing a mask, you're hurting people in the process, and I think on some level you feel bad sometimes when you think about how you hurt these people, but I feel like you're being too pushed forward and you're just not ready to heal is what I'm seeing here. But see how this devil creature or image is burning this bunny man's ears, or what is that? It's not a bunny. Anyway, some kind of goat creature. See how he's burning his horns and ears? That's illumination. The angels are like trying to get a hold of you. It's like you're stuck here and they're trying to get a hold of you and you're kind of ignoring, right? What is this card? I skipped this card. I wonder why. Anyway, take a look here. Okay, so in this card, what I'm seeing is that they're trying to soothe you, right? On the one hand, this is part of you and they're trying to soothe you. On the other hand, I also see this as you and you're trying to, on some level, to soothe yourself. But you see this wall and see this eye? It's an all-seeing eye. It's looking. It's like, it's just like you're standing out here and it's like, what's your next move? This is you. What's your next move going to be? You and your horse. Are you going to try to scale this wall? Are you going to just hang here? Are you going to, like, what do you want to do? What is it that you want to do? And I feel that your angels and guides are with you all the time. It's like this is your horse, but they could literally inhabit this horse if they wanted to. And you know, reach you. See that ear? It's almost like hitting your forehead. They're trying to reach you and they're trying, and once again, that shows this card over here, where they're literally trying to penetrate this field around you where you're shutting them out. They're like, that's them, the angels, 4. They're pushing in and they're trying to, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like an intervention almost. TBH. Some of you may actually have to go through an intervention. Let me take a... And let me tell you, interventions do work. I feel that this one could work for you if you know, take this all into consideration. Take into consideration what you could have for you as well. If you're a cross watcher and you're wondering whether to do an intervention for a Gemini in your life or for someone in your life, or whether you're a Gemini or not, if they found this video, which is most important, then you may be wondering whether or not to do that. The answer is yes. Okay. I'm seeing here, Gemini, though, that people are talking in your ear. They're like, you need to do this, you need to clean up. But this also shows your compulsion as well. But I think that part of you wants to take this ball and just bat it and then shut everybody up. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're a little bit on the defensive here. You kind of want to do what you want to do. And it's almost like you've climbed your way all the way up here, but you didn't consider how you're going to get down. It's like, I'll show you guys, you want to, whatever, okay, well, I'm going to climb up here and I'm going to start shooting fireballs at you. I'm going to, you know, you're going to be upset. You're going to rue the day you messed with me. But yet you didn't think, wait, hold on. 2 things. Number 1, one day everyone's going to leave. Sounds bad to say, but sometimes people just can no longer find it tenable to hang around for you until you make your way and you find your way. And that's when people start feeling alone, and that's when they start realizing that all these people who were coming at me were really just doing it out of love. But one day they're just gonna go, and here you are trying to find someone to shoot another arrow at, another ball at, and nobody's there. Just the sky and a cricket and the house that you built for yourself. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you realize that you've gone so far that you don't know how to get out. You've built this tower up. How are you going to get down? There's no ladder. There's no stairs. So the angels are trying to intervene right now, if this reading resonates for you, to let you know these things. All right? So now, and they keep repeating, right? So taking a look at this card, what I'm seeing here, my dear Gemini, is that, let's sharpen so you can see, that's you. You know, I see you trying to do some work, some kind of work in the physical to at least survive, to bring, you know, find a place to stay. Some of you, I feel like you may be homeless, but yet still listening to this. I don't know. we don't know, right? But, or cross watchers, I feel this person, you know, this person could be homeless or trying to find some day work or something like that. But they're still haunted. Look at that haunting. They're haunted by this addiction, and I do feel it's drug related. But if you're watching this and the dynamic relates to you, but it's not because of drugs, it's because of shopping, it's because of, excuse me, you know, that QVC, man, they get you, you know, whatever it is that there's an addiction for, yeah, I just see the struggle, and the struggle is real. It's getting to the point where this person is no longer even realizing that he or she's walking out looking a certain way, looking disheveled, coming across as homeless, coming across as no foundation, all sorts of stuff, making decisions. They're driven by compulsion. But what's happening as a result is this. Let's take a look at the card on the left. Again, Spirit has been trying, and they're trying to reach. They're trying to reach this person. Now, this person on some level may be raising their hands. Look at this, the raisings. On one hand, they're raising their hand like they want help. They might even talk about wanting help, Gemini. You might even talk about wanting help. You know, you might even say, I'm looking for help. Has anyone seen anything? You might say, yeah, I'm looking into these what do you call it? These recovery places. I'm looking at these rehab places, but you're really just spinning your wheels. You're not seeming to get anywhere, and that's because of the compulsion. It's almost like you do need somebody else to step in. If this is for you, some of you, you do need somebody else to step in to help. And the angels are trying, so you're trying, and they're trying, but it's not quite hitting your. It's missing, and that's because you're kind of not grasping upon it. And this is another look at your hand also. In this case, it's like you want to, how can I best say this? Give me one sec, let me take a look. It's like, yeah, look at this. It's like wanting to cut this crown. Oops, can you see? Okay. Cut this crown. And cutting that crown, what it means is like turning down the help. And it's like you don't want to do that, but look at this. It's almost like you're up in the air, and your hand, you can't let go of this sword, and this sword is the one, it's like making you do this. And no, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you. I'm sorry, I don't mean, and now here's this opportunity that's being extended to you, and you're being driven and compulsed to cut it. And this is the addiction that I'm seeing here, okay? So, I feel that some of you, if this resonates with you, you want the help, but right at this point, there's a biological, chemical agent that is making this harder than it needs to be, is what I'm getting, okay? But it doesn't mean that you can't do anything to help yourself. But what this card shows me is that you're focusing too much on these things, these short victories, these times that you can get high and whatnot, that you're missing all of the arrows, or all of the, I guess, signals that are being sent to you, okay? So some of you, if you're feeling like there's nobody looking out for you, that's just not the case. It's just that you can't see it at this time. Now, as a result of that, let's do these cards together. Let's take a look. Wait, what? Okay. See, this is you at the bottom left. You may find yourself just so utterly stressed out, right? And I don't blame you. But look at this. That's why, because you're dancing with this addiction. It's like you're stressed out, you just want to relax, and this addiction is saying, come be with me. And then you go there, and guess what? They're going to pull you right into that dark space, right? So this looks like your attempt to put a fence. Some of you may really have tried to stop, maybe in and out of rehab, or maybe you try to distance yourself from people, but the allure is just so much that you're struggling. But I want you to see this stick. You have what it takes. You really do have what it takes, because listen, this is a soldier. If this soldier literally was just like, just hit this lady with this thing, she's done, right? So I'm seeing that you have the opportunity to knock this habit, but you have to pick up what Spirit is offering you right there. The helmet, okay? It's right there. Look at it like from this standpoint. There's a helmet. I'm going to pick it up. Don't look at it like, I don't see this helmet because I see this woman coming out. Like, you have to change your perspective here, right? But I think that where you are resonating right now, which may not be where you're resonating next week if you take heed of some things, right? The energy changes. Where you're resonating right now is this is you, and you're giving into that temptation, okay? Now, a quick word for all of you viewers, Geminis or not, just everybody. Readers, I probably said this before, but readers, what we do is we don't read the future. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody can read the quote-unquote future. But what we can do, including yourself, if you hone that part of yourself, you can pick up on the potentials, the different potentials that exist for you. Now, that being said, all I'm doing right now is reading the energy as it stands at this point. And you'll know if this resonates for you or if it doesn't. If it doesn't, it's very clear, especially with a subject matter like this. But if it resonates for you, that means that at this time, it's a vibrational match. So these cards just allow us to see in recognizable patterns, pictures, what is in our energy field. And based on that, there's no such thing as past and present, right? Past and future and past, it's just a present. So all these past, present, futures, the way we know it, all exist in a now moment. And that's why we can see projections of probabilities, projections of what is to come. And so that means something super important. The very fact that you're observing this at this time means that if there's something you don't like, you can change it. For sure you can change it. Okay? That's what energy healers do. We can change things for people in the past, change things for people in the present, change things for people in the future. And that's because there's no such thing as time. It's all relative, so to speak. Sorry, let me just see this. Yeah, okay, that's interesting because I knew this card would come in somehow, but as I'm saying this, I just saw this. All right, so that's spirit telling you this right now. That message I just gave you is very important. They're saying you have the power to change your future. And imagine, look at here, you're sitting here. If you were to stand up, the very wonderful things around you, you can go exploring. Look at her. She's warm. She's got a place to sit. She's food. She's hungry. She's beautiful because she's dressed like these roses. The angels are here in this bird. Her antenna are here. She's like, you have the probability. This is possible for you. So I'm going to leave this right here so you can see it. Can you see it? Okay, maybe not, but that's okay. Rewind. Anyway, so the point is that I just feel like they wanted me to mention that all of this can be changed, but as the energy stands right now, this is here. So some of my cross watchers, you might be watching for somebody like a family member I'm feeling, or even a loved one who may have pulled away, and you're like, why? And this is why. There's a compulsion. But even they're saying that if you truly want to be of help to this person, choose not to see them as this drug addict or this person who can't help themselves or just whatever. Choose instead to see them in the light of who you believe they really are, in their most healed and loving state. It's so funny. As I said that, I see this snake's eye. Oops, can you guys see it? Let's see. I see this snake's eye, like it just widened and looked straight at me, like it's like it doesn't want you to know that. Like the reason why it wouldn't want you to know that is because it's the truth. It's the truth. The way you heal people is by seeing them as they are, not the way they're being. Because when you see them the way they're being, all you're doing is programming the field to help them to continue to be that way. But if you see them as they are, you treat them as you see them as they are, which is in the light of the Christ consciousness, their highest form of their highest selves, that stuff feeds them. It infects them. It conditions their field. That's how you will heal them. And this snake one day will appear differently even to this person, because your influence is there helping them to see this situation differently. And this person, the one who's addicted or whatnot, may not necessarily know that it's because of you or anything metaphysical. They're just gonna be like, dude, this is boring, or they could be sitting here looking at this, and then all of a sudden they see a tree, and they're like, what kind of tree is that? And they just get up and they go and do something else. So it's just programming the field. So as much as we want to feel bad for our friends and family, and it seems so hard not to, God, I would understand, we all understand. You're actually helping them more if you can see them in the light of who they are, in terms of love, and in terms of full functioning, in terms of happiness, in terms of levity. And because in that case, that's what they mean when they say to hold the space. You're holding the space for them to be that way. But when you're constantly like, oh, he did this again, he did that again, oh, he's never gonna, what you're doing is you're creating a force field for them to just never be able to right themselves, or making it harder for them. Okay, so hopefully that, I don't know, I feel like some of you needed to hear that, especially you cross watchers. All right, so let's move on. Gemini, back to gems. Gemini, I feel again that you're chasing this thing. This is, and I'm seeing this leaf here. Just it makes me think of, yeah, chemical substances. To you, it's like this thing in the sky where you're like, must touch, and you're here on the shore, so you don't even have to get in. You can go turn back, right? You're still there. But I feel that it's quite possible, based on the energy, what I'm seeing, it's the next card shows that some of you may have already, or it's quite possible that you will, swim out to that. In other words, continue to engage in this behavior and finally reach there and realize, oh my God, what is this? This is not, there's nothing here. It's not what I thought it was, right? So you don't, and then you find yourself like, where the hell am I? I'm alone in this murky water and I don't know where I am. Now, hopefully, if you do get to that point, you have the breakthrough and it's like, I get it. But some of you may actually not get there. You'll just keep wandering and not realize that, So anyway, that's what I'm seeing for my Geminis here in those 4 cards. Wow, long reading for gems. Some of you really need to hear this, I think. I think that if you continue on that road, yeah, it's going to be a tumultuous one for you. You might, I'm seeing here, it could be some violence, drug-related violence for some of you. When you're out of your mind, you could be somewhere, drunk or just whatever, get into some argument with somebody over something you'll never remember later. Somebody cracks something over your skull or something. I'm just seeing that for some of you. I'm seeing knife fights for some of you. I'm seeing jail time for some of you back here. So it's just, I'm seeing just like an avalanche of just things that await in the potential for the future should you go down this path. And I think also that what you will find is that, look at this, you'll be here and nobody is paying you any mind. Life is going on. The birds are still nesting. Families are having graduations in their family. People are having babies. Friends are now focused on other things. It's to the point they don't even talk about you anymore, or even to say like, dude, I heard he got high, or he did this, or she did that. They don't do that. They're focusing, and it's in their mind. It's almost like, I don't want to say this, but it's almost like you will be a lost cause to them, because this will be you and your situation. They're not even thinking about you anymore. And for some of you, of course, it could be because you're in jail. It could be whatever. You might find a time will move on, and it might make it a little harder for you to get yourself back into the place where you once were with these people, as if anyone could ever go back to anything, good or bad. But, And look, okay. This makes me feel good, this reading, because what Spirit is showing me now is I'm seeing this. See this right here? 1, 2. It's like this, 1, 2. So that tells me some of you here and some cross watchers, somebody in your life is either now beginning that journey and they have to be careful because it could get to that place, right? So for some of you, this is resonating because you're already on this path. But for some of you, you're starting this path, and that's why the angels are trying to get to you, and that's why they have reminded me to remind you a few times that you are in a position of power, that you still can have what it is that you want. You can still get up. Yeah, the angels are saying that's right. They're saying for this lot of people, there's much more to be discovered down the line about who you are. Yeah, they're saying that. Wow, that was them speaking through me. If you notice my voice, my tone changed a little bit. But anyway, my point is, all isn't lost, but this is definitely a serious reading. Now, it's interesting because every now and then, I get quote unquote serious readings. 2 weeks ago it was for Scorpio. This last week it was for Virgo, and this week Gemini, it's for you. Where I'm always like, oh, this is so specifically for somebody. Alright, so let's take a look here, and then we're done. And I can have that one chip. Alright, take a look. These are my new cards. They're gorgeous. You can see them. I didn't make them, I bought them, but you could see the kind down there because I know some of you like to read cards. Okay, so let's take a look. What I'm seeing here is that they're showing this path. Now, you would expect this to go around and come back around here, but actually it's going around and going up a little bit. So if it went like this, it would miss that opening. The point they're trying to say is with your book or with your chart, you're getting into behaviors that are putting you on a trajectory that is taking you off your path a little bit. So if you were on path, my finger would go like this and come back here. but you're swinging off a little bit, and they're trying to intervene in your life at this time. So I feel like they've been trying to do that, but it's you've been kind of stepping on it. I think that this isn't the first time they're probably trying to reach you. In this case, it's through a psychic reading. Maybe it could have been what do you call it? Fortune cookie. Maybe you saw something on the side of a bus. Maybe somebody talked to you about it. Maybe it was written in stone somewhere, they're saying. Maybe for some of you it's in the Bible. I don't know. Whatever. They've been trying to get through to you through many, many mediums, okay? And they are saying that you just you just cracked down on all of those things. So here is another one. There's another attempt, this reading. Okay, so I really suspect for some of you that this is going to be super spot on the money, and if so, you can email me and let me know. And then if it is and it resonates with you, then what I'm seeing here would be like this opening. Give you that music. An opening, and they'll be like, yes. Now think about me, Geminis and cross watchers. Look at my personality. I talk a lot, I blah blah blah, I laugh a lot, da da da. Now imagine if you were coming down onto this earth to say, I'm gonna have another lifetime, and I'm on the other side with you, and I'm like, what, really, you are? Oh my god, cool. Well, I'm not going back down for like another 40 years, that earth time. But listen, I feel like I can learn something. I want to help you. Can I be one of your spirit guides? And you're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And bling, here you are on this earth. You've forgotten who your guides are and all that good stuff, right? But imagine having someone like my personality working with you still. I still have my sense of humor. I still will try to make you notice things like, oh, look at that Twinkie, how cute. I remember that. That's my personality. And so my point is that, see this opening here? It's almost like if you, through this reading and through all the stuff that your guides have been telling you, it's almost like they're saying, if you crack that helmet of yours and you listen to it, they will just be like, yeah! They'll be happy with their personalities or everything. They'll be like, he got it, she got it, yes, 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 we can work with this. Now, the closest approximation that I can say with that is, imagine when they show us that NASA footage, NASA, I can never say it, NASA footage where they're waiting for a shuttle to take off, and they're like, 3, 2, 1, and they're like, whoosh, and it actually takes off successfully, and then they cut back to the control room, and everyone's like, yeah, throwing everything up. Imagine the eruption that will happen for your guides with all their personalities and all this and that. Some of your guides are your best friends that like for reals best friends on the other side, and you just forgot all about that, and you're throwing away their warnings like it's whatever. But there are people riding on you because they want you to succeed, and that's my point. They're your friends in spirit. Now, I'm seeing also for this week this card, smoke prayers. All right, for some of you, I'm seeing that you need to get clear. I'm seeing that some of you need to do some sagings. I'm seeing that some of you, you do have a little serpentine energy in there. It could be because it could be for some, maybe you have spirit attachments. I'm not necessarily seeing that, but I do see some negative influences. I see negative inclinations. See, a devil card, this magician card pointing to underneath the floorboard, showing that you're using you're making efforts towards exploring the dark side of yourself. I see here you ignoring what they're saying. I see the serpent here. I see you being lured and walking towards this influence that's not good for you, right? So I'm seeing all that here. So I'm through this card, this tells me a few things. Number one, all of you need to get clear. That's the first thing. Number two, some of you need to get energetic clearing, sage, Palo Santo, whatever it is that you need. You need to clear your energy field, sea salt baths, all that. If you'd like to email me and just ask me, about those methods or just whatever, sure. Where to find me, it's right below. So I see that spirits are here, 1, 2, 3, 4, some back here, 5, 6, some maybe even in there. They're here to help you. Okay, and I almost I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm gonna try to explain it. This looks like a face. Let me use this right here. It looks like a face. Let's zoom in. Where here is a cheek, comes down to the chin, up through the jaw, cheek, ear, forehead, closing right there. Eyes, right? There's a little bit of a nose situation. There's some hair. This is their body flying in, and this right here is the palm. This is their hand about to grab. They're like, right? Grab your light, okay? So that tells me, and it looks a little like a, I don't want to say demonic, a demony, or shadow being is what I prefer to use. It looks a little shadow being-y, and look at all these spirits. This could be the spirits, your angels and guides trying to help you to see that what you're doing, who you're being right now, you're inviting in these influences. They're trying to stamp out your light. This could also be indicative of more shadow beings. Just that it's just like your angels are trying to get you to wake up and see that you're heading down a trajectory that is and will not be, is not and will not be good for you, okay? Yeah, you're courting a little bit of a disaster here, if I'm being honest. That's the energy that I'm getting. I'm also seeing in this card that prayers. I feel that a lot of people are offering up prayers to you, and you don't know how important prayers are. They're very important. So all is not lost, but in this card, I'm seeing two readings, and they indicate the parts of that your choices. Now, here's the first reading of it. Take a look at it. Excuse me. One part of it could be you working together with the people in your life, physical and non-physical, to hone yourself towards the path of your highest good. So it's like you grabbing there, and then your guides or your angels or whoever grabbing that other side, and together, see this little like circle there? It's almost like, oh, can you guys see? It's almost like like a honing device, right? So you guys are together finding where to go. The other, and that would be working together. The other reading I'm getting is that this is you, both your hands, opening and ripping that apart because you want to see what's through there. It's almost like if this is some portal into like this, into more of this self-destructive behavior, you're like, bump that, I want to see where this leads, right? And you're like going in. So just be mindful. You're at a time, to summarize this super long, but I guess the angels wanted to show you guys. To summarize this reading, guys, God bless you. There's somebody in this connection, whoever related to this video, Gemini or not Gemini, who is in need of an intervention, and Spirit is definitely intervening with this video. It's time to focus on getting yourself to a place of authenticity and healing, and the way that starts is by focusing on being aligned with Spirit, okay? Even if you're just like, yes, I'll surrender. What do you want? Oh, excuse me, sorry. I'm trying to reach back here. Okay, so some of you need to surrender to the wisdom of your body, okay? I thought I'd draw like, I feel that whatever you're doing is just taking a toll on you. And if you're like, I want to go do this, but your body's like, nope, we're doing this, that should be a wake-up call to you, like, wait a minute, right? They're also saying surrender to your soul's path, right? So there's a trajectory that you should be on, again, as I'm seeing here, and you're widening that trajectory. You're getting poised to go down another path. And so, yeah, and one more, whoopsies, whoa. You missed it, it was off camera, it just fell. Anyway, surrender your ego. Surrender your ego, they're saying, and surrender to inner peace. So there's an ego related to this, okay? Anyway, guys, I'm going to end this here because this is definitely getting long, but I feel that the angels wanted to come through with this message for a specific set of Geminis. So I really, really hope that, you know, there is at least one person who could glean something of value from this. If you have questions about it, you know, like about what came through that doesn't require me to do a reading, something like, what did you mean when you said, please email me, of course. And if you would like a reading, which would require me to get into your energy in particular and talk about how this relates to you, then you can still follow the same link below. Not email, just maybe through my Etsy page or whatnot. But either way, you can email me too and we'll talk. All right, so thank you so much. Just so you know, the angels are definitely working with you to brighten your field. and just do your best, okay? And we'll check in next week together, okay? All right, bye.